Pisces, it's your turn tonight for the November love reading that I'm attempting. All jokes aside, we're just going to dive in. I'm going to start with an oracle card. If you're not familiar with my readings, I just want to say that I don't over-clarify. I don't draw that many cards, right? So if that doesn't, if something that you don't like, I wanted you to know first. But ultimately, I would ask you to maybe give me the benefit of the doubt, so to speak, and maybe listen in and see how I do things and if something speaks to you. So thank you. Thank you for staying. Let's see. I'm going to draw. Wow. Physical attraction, Pisces, November. You know, it's Scorpio season. It's another water sign. It's usually a very nice symbiotic relationship with those Scorpios, between Pisces and Scorpio, right? So just maybe even if it's not with any Scorpio per se, you might just be more aroused or just more horny lately. It could be, right? Simply because of the energy, and at least that's what this card is pointing at. So maybe you're really good at hiding that, Pisces. I'm gonna draw out of my Templar tarot deck. I only read upright in this with these cards. I'm only gonna draw one as well because it's more of an overarching energy. So let's see what this physical attraction is for you. Does it how does it manifest? Who are you drawn to? You get 2 cards. Wow. You're drawn to the Star and the Magician. So someone with a combination of both these elements. So I like the fact that this person is calm, cool, and collected. There's an energy here of someone that is very, very smart, it's very subtle in the sense that it's like a beautifully carved intelligence, right? With a lot of sophistication. It's someone that you would discover with time, or over time you would discover just how much, you know, like the intricacies of their like thoughts and like the depth of like, how can I put this? Like a beautifully crafted mind. So that might really appeal to you in terms of even arousing your physical attraction. It might start for you as something that you really want to engage with someone and have, like, I guess, something with substance, you know, even before you get to the physical act. It's someone very, I was describing this intelligence, but I also want to point out that with the Magician, this person has many different skills because they're able to you know, they handle like the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and the sword. So they have all these skills, like coming from different directions, so to speak. they're like multifaceted, and I think that's the complexity that you're actually gonna discover if you engage with them. And I feel that because the star is here, it's more of a on a conversation level. um, it's how you hit it off, or it's the first thing that you notice, and it's the first thing that really catches your attention, Pisces. That really like kind of hooks you. Let's see with the other tarot. This out of this deck, the cards are both upright and reversed. I was thinking back about what I said when I mentioned this person is calm, cool, and collected, right? I think there's another energy here of like not showing just how smart maybe they are, you know, or educated, or, you know, they wouldn't like serve that to you on a silver platter like on day one, you know. It's someone that is very humble. Very humble. Yeah. Sorry. I'm still thinking about this person. It's funny. I will draw, and it's fine. I just feel I need to shuffle some more. Okay, Four of Cups in reverse. First card, I'm going to draw another one. This is the Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm going to put on my glasses. I want to see the details. I love the images. The first two cards are indicative of I'm hearing this person's current mindset. So something about I'm hearing expansion. They're feeling like they finally have an opening available. So with the Eight of Swords in reverse, typically the person believes that they're trapped, but they're not fully trapped. So being in reverse and having the Four of Cups right there as well, the person is now absolutely aware of the opening that's available for them. So I almost want to say there's an opportunity, but it's not really like an Ace of Pentacles, or, you know, it's not something, or like even a Page of Pentacles, like something that's being presented. It just feels like an opportunity for oneself, maybe. Like you're giving yourself I'm hearing you're giving yourself a chance. It's really strange to hear that, because it doesn't feel like it's luck. it just feels like you are sensing how to get out of maybe a place where you felt stuck, and you just have this opening. Let's see if you walk through the opening or where the opening is leading you. One card flipped, and it's the Empress in reverse. Yet it's the Empress. So she's in reverse because I don't think she's stepping into the new just yet. I was barely shuffling and the Chariot came out upright. Okay, that's really interesting. There's going to be movement for you, Pisces, in this relationship. So I'm not sure who's the person that has the opening available. And I'm even tempted to say that it's both of you, because it's actually the relationship has a small opening. So like there's like a window of time, or like a precise, like, I don't know, like a, okay, like I'm hearing sets of circumstances, you know, like that are now favorable to, like, for you maybe to talk, have that conversation, or just like that meeting, that first encounter, maybe if the person you have no idea and you have no one in your life, but it feels like it's not someone that you know necessarily. It's that's what I'm sensing, but I could be totally wrong, because you could have someone in mind, right? You might not be fully engaged, not engaged, but like involved, but you might have your eye on someone. So if that's the case, you're getting that moment in November where, you know, that maybe first date, the moment where, I don't know, you finally meet at the coffee machine, or you bump into someone in a restaurant. I don't know. I'm trying to give you examples of sort of a chance. That's the word chance that I had before. There's like either a chance meeting, or finally the moment where you have this person alone and you can actually like spend more time and get to know a bit more about them, and suddenly you guys finally discover that you have a lot in common, something like that, right? And so I'm a little bit on the fence about the Empress in reverse. What I mean by that is it's like having, I want to say, having some fear around, like, it's hard to describe. It's like knowing something could be so, so good, right? And like having fear around, like the fear of success kind of feeling, right? That's why it was difficult to decode, because I couldn't believe I was like hearing the word fear on the Empress, and I'm like, why? So it's mostly like, because you know that there's like something strong, or you know that there's strong physical attraction, and you have great like common, you know, like values ideas, or at least the communication is good, or like your mind is being very stimulated. So you're sensing like, you know, when you meet someone and you're like, oh shite. You know, like I'm in trouble kind of feeling, that kind of thing. So it's a good feeling, but there's a moment where, you know, you could really like usually I've had friends that, it's funny, I'm thinking back at someone who said, you know, I'm gonna get hurt. Like all they could say about like meeting this new person that they were like super like crazy for, right? About, or crazy about, they kept saying, you know, I'm gonna get hurt, I'm gonna get hurt. And I was like, no, 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 you know, like you don't know, you have to try, you know. But I remember this vividly because it was so contradictory, you know, like in terms of this person's like desire and like how much. Anyway, it's that kind of feeling, right? Like really wanting something and like totally putting on the brakes, but yet the chariot is right beside. So like there's movement. You can feel this going forward. You can feel this thing like really you want to go towards it really, really strongly. And maybe this person, like I'm sensing, maybe they also want to come to you. But there's definitely development in terms of this getting to know this person much better. The Queen of Pentacles. She's upright. That's beautiful. Let's draw one more. Two came out. So we have, let me put on my glasses. I think it's the Page of Swords and the King of Wands in reverse. So these cards came really together, right? So for me, I'm going to say that although it looks like it's three people, I really think that this is like one energy and this is the other. So it's just that this King of Wands comes in with the energy of someone like, so there's going to be many ways to interpret this. So let's start somewhere. I've got many ideas. Okay, there's definitely one side here, the Queen of Pentacles. So it could be you, it could be the other person. That's up to you to define, right? I want to start with this because it's really interesting. Because it could be like the other person is this young, outgoing man or woman, doesn't matter. Someone that's really curious, right? The intelligence, like this kind of curious mind, opened, on the lookout, the kind of person that would venture into things, you know, like in terms of like wanting to know more, like really attracted by knowledge. So the curiosity, basically, piece that is really strong here. And then maybe attached to this guy is more of an energy of, you know, some form of maturity, but like also some form of an uncertainty in terms of like how they come across. You know, maybe because they're young, but they have a quite mature mind, maybe a different, more mature outlook on life, and maybe even a set of life experiences that makes them come across as more mature. And so people usually look at like, you know, the young person and maybe don't take the time to know them and realize that they have quite a fine mind. You know what I mean? So like someone that comes across that you wouldn't guess, you know, like the kind of experience that they have. And like, so the King is in reverse here because either they hide it a little bit or it doesn't show at all, and you really have to sit down and conversate with them and get to know them to actually see this side of them, to actually, oh, okay, you know, there's like there's something there, right? Like, and then you could play it around. So that's the other way of looking at it. It could be on the opposite. This king who like probably looks a little bit like beaten down, like who doesn't come across as like, I'm gonna put it as glamorous, or but it doesn't, I don't want to use necessarily the word glamour, but who doesn't necessarily like stand out so much, because the king here is in reverse, but yet they have this very incisive, young, like prying, almost like super, like inquisitive mind, right? Like the curiosity again, like the way they would like really detail you and like really be able to like sort of analyze you and like be so accurate about it, right? And like really read you and like totally get you, and like no matter what you talk about, like that kind of thing. So it's an interplay, like you would know, depending on who's in your life, you would know like which way to read these cards. But for me, it's really like one person. It's just that they have this double take, right? Like they have like opposite, so an opposite sort of personality almost, and mostly an opposite life experience, and than what they actually project. So that's the point here. And then the other side here is much more of a little bit of a conservative energy, kind of a calmer, maybe just more, I don't know, like someone who's actually maybe a little bit slow in slow in revealing who they are, right? Like maybe a little bit, how can I put it? Without being calculating, they would, but they would choose what they tell you, you know, kind of like depending on, you know, how much time it is that you, how much time it is that you've known them, where you're at in the conversation, what kind of rapport they have with you. So then, are they feeling comfortable? There are certain things that they might tell you like up front, then there are other things that they're gonna wait on telling you, you know. But again, another energy of you, a little bit like I was reading before, the energy of you need to really sit down with this person to get to know them, to actually realize like who's really in front of you, you know, like instead of just like what you see like face value, like just on looks and what your first impression is in terms of, okay, they dress like this, and you know, something of, like of the sort. Because even if she doesn't come like with a double energy like this one, that was like super obvious for me to read as, okay, this person really comes across differently than who they are. This person, it's the same principle, but it's about what they choose, what they filter to actually like let through, right? And at which moment, and if they're comfortable or not. So it's really interesting because I like this because there's a little bit of the idea of like seduction here, because when you meet someone and you're interested, especially if you're feeling the sparks, right? The physical attraction, there's something happening that you are feeling is, you know, not just like, obviously it's physical, so it's not something you need to really try to explain or understand. You just feel drawn. But then you know, that's one aspect. So you could stay on that level if you wish, right? But this is describing a real interest, where when you start really talking and engaging, you discover like, okay, this is actually more than just physical attraction. There's actually, you know, I'm interested in this person, they have something to say, they're like, I'm learning something, or XYZ, you know, whatever you like that you're discovering, and that is bringing you something, and that you feel that it's a give and take, right, on both sides. So what's seductive about that is the piece where the person grows on you, and you realize that, you know, you're falling more and more and more, right? And that somehow it is cementing like the relationship, because otherwise it'd be just physical, and that might dwindle with over time, right? Whereas here you're sensing that the bond could be like there's a bond that could be created, and there's actually something going on that's deeper. It's really interesting, the opening piece, because, you know, I mentioned about opening up at the beginning, whereas at first I was sensing that it was like this chance meeting, or this moment where you finally have the opportunity to sit down and like have a real conversation, not just like, you know, let's say it's someone that you know, right? Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you go to the coffee shop, and it's someone that you see at the coffee shop all the time, right? You just notice them, you don't say anything, you might smile, but you're not really engaging with this person. But then suddenly there's one day that, I don't know, you or them actually come and sit with you, and like it happens, you start talking, something like that. It's just an example. And then, so that was the chance thing, the opening. But now I'm also seeing the opening up as like what I was describing about how you two will interact, right? There's a moment where the opening is also creating the opening of like revealing yourselves to one another, like really getting to know each other. And so it's like a double layer. Also, what I like is the change in speed. If you want, like the Empress being in reverse, like already the Empress is like the one that sits and waits, right? People come to her. She's in reverse, so she might have been like a little bit looking like she, you know, oh. But I'm only playing here, but just to express what I'm trying to, what I'm feeling, and that I'm trying to tell you. So, you know, that scenario, let's say in the coffee shop, like, you know, you keep seeing this person, and you're like, you're wondering, how am I going to talk to them? How can I like really engage, you know? And like, so the Empress in reverse is that, all of that, not knowing how to approach the person, literally. And then boom, the Chariot, it's like someone makes a move. I love it. And it's instantaneous. It's like there's really like a moment. Someone goes for it. I think that's great. And you know, I didn't think about this, but the star is here. So again, I mentioned like the piece about it. I keep saying the word chance, but it's like it's an opportunity, it's an opening, it's like a chance moment. It's the I'll make a move moment. But it's guided, like, because it's like it's like inspiration, like you suddenly get the nudge, you finally get the inspiration. Okay, this is the right moment. This you know, like this, I know what I'm gonna say, or it just comes, right? Those are the best, I guess, because it's also like although sometimes there's like thought behind it, there's a portion somehow that is like, it's the moment where you don't think too much anymore, because now you like, otherwise you're overthinking, like, you know, the Eight of Swords is in reverse, but the Eight of Swords is here. And then the ignoring piece, we had the Four of Cups. It was there, it's in reverse, but you know, like both this one person being a little bit like, okay, well, and the other person too much in their mind thinking, how am I going to do this? It's really beautiful. I love this. It's like a movie. It's a little bit like a movie in terms of like a scene in a movie where like you see the attraction, right? You see it play out, and then you see the moment where both people like finally like decide to just talk. Finally come together. I love it. It makes me giddy. Anyways, that's what I have for you, Pisces. If ever this happens to you, okay, please share with me in the comments. Like, let me know, because I would really love, first of all, to engage with you guys, get to know who's watching me, and like, you know, but like, not about like just knowing that you guys are watching me, but I want to interact. So if ever this resonates and you have a little story around that, tell me. I would be pleased to hear it. So on that note, thank you so much, and share, like, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't, but mostly comment. Thank you.